We're always looking at what's out there to make us better. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to the way you talk, your body language, the words that you use, the tonality and the fluctuation, and we just don't focus on it enough. And so let's go into improving what you say and how you say. This one is where I get real with you. Now, just because you've been saying what you've been saying for a long time doesn't mean it's good. And don't forget about body language. Now, there's something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. You can Google it, but it's a type of cognitive bias. And this is where people believe that they're smarter and more capable than they really are. I mean, look, we've met a lot of real estate agents. You can definitely say the Dunning-Kruger effect is in place in real estate. But essentially, the low ability here for people to actually possess the skills to recognize their own incompetence is missing. So you think, you look out there and you say, wow, some agents really think that they're most amazing at speaking and talking to people and doing sales. But in reality, most of us are not. Most of us are missing this tonality and the fluctuation in voice to be able to connect with people. Here's where I want you to look at yourself and say, hey, do I need to work on this a lot more than I thought? Had I even thought about this? How much do you think you can improve on your tone and body language with people? Here are some facts. And you may have heard this in different forms, but when I did a little bit of research, I found two studies, and one guy was in both of them. It's Mehrabian and Wiener and Mehrabian and Ferris. Both studies, both done in 1967, so a while back. Now, when they combined both of these results in this research, they came up with a formula, and this formula is often used and quoted and misquoted, but the belief is that 55% of communication is body language, 38% is tone of voice, and 7% is actual words, the words that you're speaking. But the thing is, even those people that tested this, the researchers, they said, hey, look, this isn't accurate in all times or all situations. But it gets the point across, and it helps you realize how important it is to master your body language and your tone and the fluctuations. And sometimes we just need to shut up and listen and say, okay, what's the tone out there? How is the client sounding? Emotional, enthusiastic? So here's how you work on your tonality. And this is from me doing some reading over the last 2 weeks, from experience, from dealing with so many people that we continually work with. But number one thing that I looked at and that I wrote out was this: focus on your state. Always focus on your state first. How your mind is currently right now. Now, focusing on your state, it's easy to get carried away in any business, any sales business, just in life in general, with everything that's happening. And I think it's time to take a look and say, okay, am I going to be talking to somebody in the next hour, in the next 30 minutes, in the next 10 minutes? Because I need my best self right now. I need myself to be centered. I can't be as emotional as I normally am. I need to take a deep breath and get enthusiastic so I can get certain in what I'm doing. Because that's contagious. You look at, and then I'm going to quote here Jordan Belfort from Wolf of Wall Street in a loose quote here, but just in general, you get his idea. He's saying one thing that he does is he has a straight line system. And in his straight line system, he categorizes people that are purchasing, that are wanting to transact, regardless of what it is, from 1 through 10. And in this 1 through 10, he says, look, we don't know where the consumer comes in. They may come in at a 2. They may come in at an 8. But this 1 through 10 line, this 1 through 10 straight line, is a line of certainty. We need to bring them from uncertainty to complete certainty. And there are a lot of steps in between. But the point is, this certainty starts with us being certain of what we're doing. And if our mind isn't focused and not in the right state, what certainty are we giving our clients? And at the same time, this is Tony Robbins, motion creates emotion. So get up, get your body into it. You can use music to pump yourself up. You can just do quick push-ups. You can jump up in the air, do some jumping jacks, but get into state. Why do you think Tony Robbins has everybody, thousands of people do this when he has you at his conferences? Just remember, motion creates emotion if you're having a difficulty getting into state. But focus on your state. That's number one. Number two, a lot easier said than done, but practice and record yourself. And the very first time I heard this was from Mike Ferry a long time ago, as I was jumping into this business. And I'm sure he got it from somebody else. But now it's so easy to do. We all have phones and they all have recording devices. Why not pop it up and record yourself talking? Practice. And one thing that all leaders have in common across the way is that they're all practicing their delivery. So you shouldn't be any different. And now when you record yourself, guess what? Actually take time to review it. Look at all the athletes out there. Like top athletes, past and present, they review footage of the way they played, of the way their opponents played. You don't think they're practicing at the highest level? What makes you different? You think the way that you're talking is sufficient enough to connect at the highest level with your clients or with the consumer? And then you wonder why you have challenges and problems in your business. It's time to record and review. Take the time to do it. You know how much time I've put into just this part? I try to record as many times as I speak, practices, and I go back and I say, the fluctuation was off there. The delivery was off there. Maybe I have to be a little bit more emotional, bring it an octave down. When I was in law school, our contracts professor said this to me. He says, Tristan, we're wordsmiths. And I'd like to translate that back into real estate. Everyone listening in, we're wordsmiths. Our job is to know how to talk to people and what to say to people and what tonality to create certainty, like Jordan Belfort says. Now, if you're having a challenge as to how tonality sounds or what you should do, we've been watching movies for all of our lives. Find people that are famous and listen to them in their different tonalities. There's a reason the Oscars is out there. The performance that they have is usually insane. But if you're having challenges, there are lots of people you can go on YouTube and find. Look at people like Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, lots of body language there. Some cursing, but lots of body language. Tonality is right on point. So is Tony. Watch our past presidents. Look at amazing actors. Listen and watch for enthusiasm, because that's contagious. Listen and watch for softness. Watch how they connect with people because of the softness. Listen and watch important deliveries. And listen and watch for kindness, because delivering kindness can be a challenge. Now, you want to take it up a level? Practice with others and record it. And review it. Don't just leave it there. It's great to practice, but reviewing is where the key is. You'll say, hey, you know what? I should have done that a little bit better. When I recorded my listing presentation or my buyer's presentation, I should have done this, or I missed this completely. Now, none of this will happen unless you set time to practice. And that time to practice, just like I said yesterday when I said you've got to go all in on social media because it has to be part of your business plan. This has to be part of your business. This is at core who you are. You ever notice that you talk to people differently? Now you have to think, well, forget about business. How am I talking to those people around me? What message am I delivering with my body language and my tonality on a daily basis to my family, my friends, those that are around me? So if you want to better yourself, it's time to practice this and set a time in the day to actually do this. And remember what my law school professor said, my contracts professor said, we're wordsmiths. And I say that applies to everyone. The more we practice on how we say what we say, the more our lives will enhance. We can create certainty in people, or we can create uncertainty with the words that we use. So think about this. Are you going to practice like an elite athlete or not? Thanks for joining me again. Please subscribe and click on the little bell so you get these when they're done. Have an awesome day.